The inheritance nobody expected. The red dust of Mars blew gently across the dome house where Captain Aaron Vale lived. The sun was low, painting the metal walls an orange light. Inside the quiet home, Aaron sat with his old data tablet, reading the final words of his best friend. Commander Jarek, the message had arrived only an hour ago. It carried Jarek's voice, broken and weak. "If you are hearing this, Aaron, then I am gone," the hologram said. "You are my last trust, my last friend. I leave you my greatest treasure. Her name is Lyra." Aaron frowned. His friend had been dead for 5 years, lost during a secret mission near the Vayari border. He remembered the day the military told him Yarek's ship was destroyed. No survivors, no trace. Now here he was, receiving a message from the dead. The ground trembled slightly, followed by a soft humming outside. Aaron walked toward the window through the glass. He saw a silver pod landing on the red sands. Steam hissed as it touched down. The pod door opened with a soft click, and inside, glowing faintly blue, was a cryostasis capsule. Aaron stepped out into the thin air of Mars, his breathing mask flickering blue. He moved closer, heart pounding. On the capsule's transparent cover, there was a name written in glowing letters. Lyra. Inside lay a woman, unlike any human he had seen. Her skin shimmered with soft silver light, and her hair looked like strands of liquid moonlight. She seemed peaceful, sleeping, or maybe frozen. Aaron touched the capsule, feeling a pulse of warmth. A tiny holographic message appeared. It was Jarek again, smiling sadly. "She is more than she seems, Aaron. Protect her. Don't trust anyone who comes looking." Then the hologram vanished. Aaron stood there, confused and uneasy. He had seen strange things during his years in space, but this was something else, a living being left as an inheritance. He dragged the capsule inside his dome, connecting it to his generator. Lights blinked, and the capsule began to thaw. Steam escaped, and the woman's chest moved slowly. She was breathing. Then suddenly, the Mars warning alarm echoed through the dome. The screen on Aaron's console flashed red. Unidentified ships entering lower orbit. Aaron cursed under his breath. He ran to the window and saw faint shadows crossing the sky. They were not human ships. Their shape was too sleek, too alien. He turned back to the capsule. The woman's eyes opened. Bright silver with a golden ring in the center. She gasped, taking her first breath. Her gaze locked on him, calm but full of fear. "Where am I?" she whispered, her voice soft and melodic. "You're safe for now," Aaron said. "You're on Mars Colony 7. Who are you?" She blinked, trying to stand. "My name is Lyra," she said weakly. "You must be the one Jarek trusted." Hearing that name sent a chill down Aaron's spine. "You knew Jarek?" he asked. She nodded slowly. "He saved me. He said humans still keep promises." Before Aaron could reply, the dome lights flickered. A robotic voice spoke from his defense system. "Incoming craft approaching, unknown energy signature detected." Lyra's breathing quickened. "They've found me," she whispered. "You must not let them take me." "Who?" Aaron asked. "Who's coming?" "The Vayari enforcers," she said, her eyes wide. "They want what I carry inside me. They will destroy everything to get it." Aaron grabbed his plasma rifle. Checking its charge, he moved to the door, looking at her once more. "Why would they chase you all the way to Mars?" Lyra hesitated, then spoke quietly. "Because I am not just a woman. I am the last key to something they fear." Before Aaron could ask more, a bright flash filled the horizon. 3 dark ships appeared. Scanning beams sweeping the colony, Aaron quickly activated his dome's defense shield. The sky turned blue with energy. The alien ship stopped above his dome, broadcasting a message in a cold, mechanical tone. "Human residence detected. Surrender the fugitive asset. Non-compliance will result in termination." Aaron felt the air grow tense. Lyra stood up despite her weakness. Her skin glowed brighter. Her eyes filled with strange light. "They think you are weak," she said softly. "But Jarek told me humanity never bows." Aaron smirked slightly. "He was right," he replied, switching off the outer beacons. The house went dark, only the red glow of Mars outside. Lyra looked at him with silent trust. "If they find me," she said, "your world will burn." Outside, the alien ships charged their weapons. Lightning crackled across the sky. Aaron stood at the control panel, hand hovering over the manual override. He could run or he could fight, but deep inside, he knew Jarek didn't send this woman by accident. "Let's find out what makes you so special, Lyra," he muttered. The screen flashed red. Energy impact in 10 seconds. Lyra closed her eyes, placing her glowing hand on the console. "Trust me," she whispered. The system's power surged, lights bursting across the room. The dome shook violently, and then everything went white when the light faded. The alien ships were gone, vanishing into static. The energy around the dome hummed softly. Stronger than before, Aaron looked at Lyra, who was now breathing heavily. Her glow dimmed, her strength fading again. "What did you do?" he asked quietly. "I borrowed a little from the stars," she said with a weak smile. "But they'll be back." Aaron helped her sit. "Then we better be ready," he said. Looking at the sky outside, the red dust swirled again, silent but full of coming danger. The inheritance he never wanted had now become his war, and somewhere, deep in the shadows of space, the Vayari fleet was already on its way back. The woman from the stars. The next morning on Mars Colony 7 was quiet again, but Captain Aaron Vale could feel something was different. The red sky above looked peaceful, yet his sensors still showed faint traces of alien energy. The battle last night was no dream. Inside the dome, Lyra slept on a small cot covered with a thermal blanket. Her glow had faded, but her breathing was steady. Aaron sat beside her, trying to understand what had just happened. He had seen alien tech before, but nothing like this. She had stopped 3 ships with a single touch. He replayed Jarek's message again. The hologram flickered to life, showing his old friend smiling weakly. "Protect her, Aaron," Jarek said. "She is not a weapon. She is a key." The words made no sense, but they burned in Aaron's mind. Lyra opened her eyes slowly. Her silver pupils shimmered in the dim light. "You didn't leave," she whispered. Voice soft like a sigh, Aaron looked up. "You needed rest," he said. "And I needed answers." She sat up, moving carefully. "I can explain," she said. "But you won't believe me." "Try me," Aaron replied, crossing his arms. "I've seen stranger things." Lyra nodded slowly. "I'm from the Vayari Empire," she began. "But I am not one of them anymore. I was created, not born," Aaron frowned. "Created? You mean engineered?" "Yes," she said. "The Vayari made me in their science chambers, using both their DNA and something they took from humans. They called me a hybrid, a bridge between species. They wanted me to control something ancient, something they found in the dark of the void." Aaron leaned closer. "Control what?" Lyra hesitated, then touched her chest. "A weapon left behind by those who came before the stars," she whispered. "A relic of the first builders. They call it the Precursor Vault. It can awaken or destroy entire worlds. Jarek found out what they planned to do with it. He tried to save me, and they killed him." Aaron's heart tightened. He remembered Jarek's reckless bravery, always diving into danger to protect others. "So he sent you to me," Aaron said quietly. Lyra nodded. "He said you were a man who still believed in promises." Aaron stood and walked to the window. Outside, the desert stretched endlessly, silent and cruel. "You've brought a lot of trouble with you," he said. "I didn't choose this," Lyra whispered. "But if they find me, they will use me to open the vault, and once it opens, the galaxy will never be the same." Aaron turned to face her. "Then we can't let them have you." Lyra smiled faintly. "You speak like Jarek," she said. "But you don't know what they can do." "Maybe not," Aaron replied. "But I know what humans can do." The console beeped suddenly, breaking the moment. Aaron rushed to it. The radar showed 3 new contacts entering Mars' atmosphere. Smaller, faster. Hunter drones. "They've sent scouts," Lyra said, eyes narrowing. "They won't stop now." Aaron quickly opened a hidden floor hatch. "Come on," he said. "We're leaving." They climbed down into an old maintenance tunnel. The air was cold and metallic. Aaron grabbed a small pack of supplies and his plasma rifle. "There's an old hangar 5 clicks east. Jarek used it for smuggling runs if he sent you to me. Maybe he left us a way out." They moved through the tunnel quietly, footsteps echoing. Above them, faint booms shook the ground, drones searching. As they reached the end of the tunnel, Lyra stopped. Her eyes glowed faintly again. "Wait," she whispered. "Something's wrong." A sharp metallic screech rang out. A drone dropped through the tunnel vent. Its red eyes locking on them, Aaron fired without hesitation. The plasma shot hit the drone, but it didn't fall. It spun, firing back, sparks flying. Lyra raised her hand, and a pulse of silver light burst from her palm. The drone froze in midair, then melted into glowing dust. Aaron looked at her in shock. "You just—" "Later," she said quickly. "They'll know I used power again." They ran, emerging into the open desert. The hangar stood in the distance, half buried under red sand. Aaron pushed open the heavy metal doors. Inside, dust floated in the light from above. And there, under a thick cover, was an old ship, its hull scarred and rusted. But still intact, on its side, Aaron saw a familiar mark, Jarek's insignia. Of course you had a backup plan, Aaron muttered, pulling the cover away. You old fox? Lyra stared at the ship, eyes wide. This design, she said softly. It's not Vayari, it's human, but alive. Aaron entered the cockpit. Everything smelled of oil and old air. The controls lit up when he touched them. Still works, he said, half smiling. Jarek. You genius, he looked back at Lyra. You coming? She hesitated, looking back at the red dunes. Once we leave, there's no going back, Aaron shrugged. Wasn't planning to, Lyra stepped aboard. The door closing behind her with a hiss. The ship hummed like a heartbeat. Systems came online one by one. Engines glowed. Outside, more drones appeared on the horizon. Flying low and fast, Aaron gripped the controls. Hang on, he said. The ship roared to life, lifting off in a cloud of red dust. The drones fired, but Aaron dodged skillfully, diving into the upper sky, Mars shrinking below them. As they broke through the atmosphere, the stars opened before them, cold, endless, and full of danger. Lyra stared out the window, her reflection glowing faintly. You shouldn't have done this, she said softly. They'll never stop now. Aaron smiled slightly. Then they'll find out what happens when you chase humans too far. Lyra turned to him, her expression softening. You sound like him, she said. Like Jarek, Aaron looked straight ahead. Eyes on the stars, no, he said quietly. I'm worse. The ship vanished into the black void, leaving Mars behind, but deep in the cold silence of space. Something ancient stirred awake far away on a forgotten world. A faint light blinked, an echo of the vault Lyra spoke of. The hidden key. The stars outside stretched into long white lines as the old ship jumped into faster-than-light travel. The hum of the engines filled the cabin. Soft but alive, Captain Aaron Vale sat at the controls, eyes fixed on the swirling lights ahead. Beside him, Lyra sat quietly, her silver glow faint in the dim light. For hours they flew in silence, Aaron trying to understand what kind of mess he had inherited. Every now and then he looked at Lyra, wondering what Jarek had really gotten him into. She was calm, but there was a weight in her eyes, a sadness that came from knowing too much. Finally, Aaron spoke. You said you were made to control the vault, he said. How? Lyra looked at her hands, the light under her skin pulsing faintly. It's written in my body, she said softly. In my blood, they call it the pattern. It's a code older than the Empire itself. I don't know where it came from, but it reacts when I get close to certain signals, Aaron frowned. Signals? Lyra nodded. Yes, like a song that only I can hear. The closer we get, the louder it becomes. Aaron checked the ship's scanners. So where is this signal now? Lyra closed her eyes, listening, then she raised her hand, pointing to the far end of the galaxy map. There, she whispered. The vault is hidden inside a storm system near the dead world of Asterion. Jarek told me that's where humanity once left something powerful. Aaron stared at the coordinates. Asterion, he muttered. That place is supposed to be cursed. Lyra looked at him. Cursed or not, it's where the truth sleeps, Aaron sighed. Then that's where we're going. He leaned back in the chair, rubbing his temples. You realize the Vayari fleet will be waiting, right? Lyra smiled faintly. Then we don't go alone. Aaron raised an eyebrow. You got friends out there? No, she said, but you do, before Aaron could ask. The ship beeped and a familiar voice echoed through the speakers. It was Jarek's voice again, recorded long ago. If you're hearing this, brother, then you're doing what I hoped. You found her. And she's still alive, Aaron froze, staring at the console as the hologram flickered on, showing Jarek's face. I left something for you, Jarek continued. A hidden core inside this ship. It carries data from the human Black Ops project, Sentinel. It's older than both of us and maybe older than Earth itself. Use it wisely. Lyra stood close, her eyes wide. Sentinel, she whispered. That name is forbidden even in the Vayari archives. Aaron accessed the storage unit Jarek mentioned. The ship's panels shifted, revealing a glowing crystal-like engine deep within, pulsing blue and gold. The AI of the ship came online fully, speaking in a calm, human-like voice. Welcome back, Captain Vale, it said, authorization confirmed. Primary directive, protect the heir of the pattern, Aaron blinked. The what? Lyra smiled faintly. That's me, she said softly. The heir of the pattern, the AI continued. Course locked to Asterion. Estimated arrival, 27 hours, Aaron sighed. Guess I don't get a choice anymore. As they traveled, Lyra sat beside him and began to hum a soft tune. The lights in the ship responded slightly. Pulsing with her rhythm, Aaron looked around, amazed. You're controlling it? Not controlling, she said gently. We're connected. Jarek must have modified it for me. Aaron smiled a little. Typical Jarek, always 2 steps ahead. Then, without warning, the ship's alarm screamed. Hostile contact detected, the AI announced. Aaron looked at the radar. 3 ships closing in fast. How the hell did they find us this far out? He growled. Lyra's face grew pale. The Vayari have trackers that can trace energy patterns from my kind. They're hunters. Aaron gripped the controls. Well, hunters are about to learn something new about humans. He pushed the thrusters, the ship twisting sharply as plasma bolts flew past. The small vessel shook, but Aaron's reflexes were sharp. The enemy ships closed in, one firing a torpedo. Lyra reached out. Touching the console, "Let me help," she said. "Just don't blow us up," Aaron muttered. Her hands glowed brighter, lines of light running through the control panels. The ship's energy levels spiked, and suddenly, hidden weapons appeared from the wings, ancient cannons that hummed with raw power. Aaron stared in shock. "This thing's armed?" Lyra smiled faintly. "It remembers its purpose." The ship fired back, bright blue plasma tearing through one of the enemy ships. The explosion painted the void in light. The others broke formation, but Aaron chased them, dodging, spinning, shooting. Finally, the last ship exploded, the silence of space returning. Aaron exhaled, leaning back. "You handled that like a soldier." Lyra shook her head. "I've seen too much war, I don't want more." Aaron looked at her for a moment, then turned back to the stars. "Sometimes war finds us anyway," he said quietly. The AI spoke again. "Captain, long-range scan complete. Destination Asterion approaching. Power readings are unstable." Lyra stood beside him, looking at the screen. The world ahead was covered in black storms, lightning flashing in its atmosphere. "That's it," she said softly. "The vault is there." Aaron frowned. "Great. It looks like hell because it is," she whispered. "And what sleeps inside is waiting for me." As they entered orbit, the scanners detected something massive on the dark side of the planet. A metallic shadow, larger than any ship Aaron had seen before. It glowed faintly red, its symbol unmistakable. The crest of the Vayari dreadnought fleet. Aaron's eyes widened. "They're already here." Lyra gripped the console, fear flashing in her eyes. "They can't reach the vault first if they do. They'll use it to erase entire civilizations." Aaron's jaw tightened. "Then we'll beat them to it," he said. "One way or another." The AI flickered, showing Jarek's face once more. "If you're here, then the war isn't over," his hologram said. "Protect her, Aaron, because she's the key to saving what's left of us." Lyra looked at the hologram, tears forming in her glowing eyes. "He knew this would happen," she whispered. Aaron nodded slowly. "Yeah," he said. "And he trusted me to finish what he started." Outside, lightning danced across the dark world below. The storm clouds shifted like living shadows, hiding secrets older than any empire. Aaron placed his hand on the throttle, eyes locked forward. "Hold tight," he said. "We're going in." The ship dove toward Asterion. Fire streaking around the hull, Lyra held onto the console, whispering a prayer in a language older than time far below. The vault of the first builders began to awaken, its ancient lights flickering one by one, sensing the return of the heir of the pattern. The war they didn't see coming. The descent through Asterion's storm was violent and endless. Lightning tore across the black clouds like glowing serpents, and the ship rattled as if the planet itself wanted to crush it. Aaron gripped the control sticks tightly, his face set in focus. Beside him, Lyra stood steady, her eyes shining faint silver in the darkness. "We're almost there," Aaron shouted over the roaring storm. The AI's calm voice echoed. "Warning, extreme magnetic field detected. Hull integrity at 70%. Lyra closed her eyes and raised her hand toward the ceiling. Her body glowed brighter, and the ship's shaking began to ease. "I can guide us through," she said softly. "This planet knows me." Aaron glanced at her, amazed again by her strange power. Remind me to ask how you do that after we survive, he muttered. As they broke through the last layer of cloud, the sight below stole Aaron's breath. The surface of Asterion was covered in endless ruins, massive towers half buried in ash, glowing rivers of energy cutting through the land like veins, and at the center of it all stood a mountain made of shining metal. Rising into the storm, Lyra whispered, "The vault." But orbiting just above it, blocking their path, was the Dreadnought, the same alien warship that had hunted her since Mars. Its shadow covered the vault like a dark crown. A voice boomed through their comms, cold and commanding. "Human vessel? Power down immediately and surrender the Veari fugitive." "You are surrounded," Aaron smirked slightly. "Yeah, I've heard that before," he muttered. The Dreadnought fired a warning shot, a beam of pure plasma slicing through the storm. The shockwave sent their small ship spinning. Alarm screamed. "Shields failing," the AI warned. Lyra held onto the console, shouting, "We can't fight them head-on. They'll destroy us." Aaron's jaw tightened. "You said Jarek modified this ship, right?" Lyra nodded, confused. "Yes, why?" Aaron flipped a switch on the control panel and the AI's tone changed. "Warning. Activating restricted protocol, Sentinel mode," the old ship groaned, metal shifting and unfolding like something alive. Hidden panels opened, revealing ancient cannons glowing blue. Armor plates slid into place and strange runes appeared along the hull. The engines roared like thunder, Lyra gasped. This is not human technology," Aaron smiled. "Maybe not, but it's human-made now." Outside, the Dreadnought adjusted its aim. The alien commander's voice returned. "Foolish human. You think your primitive craft can..." Before he could finish, Aaron slammed his hand on the trigger. The Sentinel ship fired a single beam of blinding blue energy. It ripped through the Dreadnought's shields like paper. The massive alien ship shuddered as explosions tore across its hull, the comms filled with static and distant screaming. Lyra looked at Aaron in disbelief. You just destroyed a Veari warship," Aaron grinned. "You're welcome." But the smile faded as sensors lit up again. Dozens of smaller ships emerged from the Dreadnought's wreckage, swarming toward them like metal insects. "Here they come," Aaron said, tightening his grip. Lyra touched the console again, her glow merging with the ship's systems. "Let me link with it fully," she said. "Will that help?" Aaron asked. "Yes, but it will hurt," she whispered. "The ship draws life from me when I connect." "But it's the only way to match them," Aaron hesitated. "You'll burn yourself out." She looked at him, eyes steady. "Then promise me you'll finish what we started." Before he could protest, she pressed her glowing hands to the main core. The ship's lights exploded into brilliant white. Energy surged through every system, and for a brief moment, Aaron felt like the entire vessel was alive. Outside, the swarming enemy ships opened fire, but the Sentinel responded like a beast unleashed. Moving with impossible speed, it dodged, spun, and fired back. Every cannon shot was pure light and fury. Tearing through wave after wave, Lyra screamed softly, her energy flowing into the core. Aaron shouted, "Lyra, stop! You'll die." Her voice came weak but calm. "No, Aaron, I'm remembering now. The vault's purpose. It wasn't meant for war. It was meant to protect life." The AI spoke in a deep voice now, almost like Jarek's. "Captain, her life force is synchronizing with the ship." "The vault is responding." Aaron looked at the planet below. The metallic mountain was glowing brighter. Its peak opened like a blooming flower, sending streams of golden light into the sky. The enemy fleet froze mid-attack, scanning in confusion. Then their systems started failing one by one. The vault's energy pulsed, disarming weapons, melting metal, and erasing targeting systems. Aaron looked down at Lyra, who was now barely conscious. "It's working," he said. "You're stopping them," Lyra smiled weakly. "No, Aaron. The vault is stopping everyone. It doesn't choose sides. It only restores balance." The ship began to shake violently. The AI warned, "Power overload, systems unstable. Recommend immediate disengagement." Aaron tried to pull her away from the core. "Lyra, disconnect now," she shook her head, her voice a whisper. "If I stop now, the vault will collapse." He grabbed her hand tightly. "Then we finish this together." The ship's engines roared again as Aaron redirected power toward the vault. The Sentinel's ancient systems linked fully, creating a bridge of light between ship and planet. The vault's gates opened wide, golden symbols rising into the sky. For a moment, the storm stopped, and all was silent. Then came the final surge, a burst of energy that swept across the atmosphere. wiping out the remaining enemy ships in a single blinding flash. When the light faded, the dreadnought was gone, the sky clear, and the sentinel ship hovered in peace above the shining world. Aaron gasped for breath, looking around. "We did it," he said, but then turned to Lyra. Her glow was fading fast. He knelt beside her, holding her hand. "Lyra, stay with me," he said softly. Her eyes fluttered open, silver light dimming. "The vault. It's awake now," she whispered, "but my part is done." "No," Aaron said firmly. "You're not done, not yet." She smiled faintly. "You sound like him again," she whispered. "Like Jarek," Aaron shook his head. "No, I sound like me." The AI's voice broke the silence. "Captain, the vault is stabilizing. Life readings are spreading across the planet." Aaron looked outside. The black storm was gone, replaced by glowing rivers of light and blooming fields of green. Where there had been only ash, Lyra's hand slipped from his, her last words soft. "Protect the legacy, Aaron, humanity. Must remember." And then her eyes closed. The silver glow fading completely, Aaron sat still, the storm of victory and sorrow mixing inside him. Outside, Asterion breathed again. Reborn, the vault had chosen, but the price had been high. The legacy of two worlds. The storm over Asterion had finally gone. The planet below was glowing like a living sunrise. Rivers of gold flowed through cracks in the black earth, and new forests began to rise where ash once ruled. Captain Aaron Vale stood at the viewport of the Sentinel ship, staring down at the world his friend had died to protect. Beside him, Lyra lay motionless, her silver glow now faint as moonlight. She looked peaceful, almost asleep, but her touch had grown cold. Aaron's heart felt heavy, heavier than the ship itself. The AI spoke softly. "Captain, life signs are returning across Asterion. The vault has awakened completely. You have achieved what Commander Jarek intended." Aaron's voice was low. "Not we AI, she did." He looked down at Lyra, brushing a strand of glowing hair from her face. "You saved them all and I couldn't save you," he whispered. The ship hummed quietly, and suddenly the hologram of Jarek appeared once more. His image flickered, older and worn. "Aaron," the voice said gently, "if you're seeing this, then you found her. And the vault has awakened. I knew you would do it. I trusted you because you're the one person who never gives up. But you must understand, the vault doesn't destroy. It remembers." Aaron frowned. "Remembers?" Jarek smiled faintly. "Yes, it keeps echoes of those who give themselves to it. Their essence becomes part of the world it protects." Before Aaron could speak, the ship trembled. The vault below pulsed with golden light, and a soft, familiar voice filled the cabin. "Aaron," he froze, his eyes wide. It was Lyra's voice, gentle and calm. The lights around her body shimmered again, faint but real. "Lyra?" he whispered, kneeling beside her. Her eyes opened slowly, glowing like starlight reflected on water. "Don't be sad," she said softly. "I'm still here, just different." Aaron felt tears burn his eyes. "You're alive." She smiled faintly. "Not as before the vault needed a guardian. It called me, and I answered. I am part of it now." Outside the window, the golden light of the vault spread across the planet, forming symbols in the air. They were like constellations, shifting and shining in patterns that looked almost like her heartbeat. Aaron looked at her. "So what now?" Lyra's gaze softened. "Now you tell them," she said. "Tell your people that humanity was never alone. Tell them that compassion, not fear, is what makes you powerful." Aaron nodded slowly. "I will," he said. "But I'm not leaving you here alone," Lyra smiled, shaking her head. "You can't stay, Aaron. The vault chose me because I was born to protect. You were born to lead. Humanity still needs someone to remind them who they are." The ship's AI spoke quietly. "Captain, the vault's energy is stabilizing. Departure window is optimal for return to human space." Aaron clenched his fists. "I hate leaving people behind," he whispered. Lyra reached out, her hand faintly solid, touching his cheek. "You didn't fail me," she said. "You freed me. I was made as a weapon, but because of you, I became something else. Hope." The word lingered in the air like a light that never faded. Aaron stood, taking one last look at the glowing planet below. "Goodbye, Lyra," he said quietly. "And thank you." Lyra's image shimmered as she smiled. "We'll meet again." Among the stars, the vault's light brightened once more, and then her form dissolved into golden particles that floated upward, merging with the air. The ship's sensors registered a pulse spreading across the entire planet. Signaling rebirth. Aaron turned to the controls, eyes still wet. "Set course for Earth," he ordered. The AI responded, "Acknowledged, Captain." The engines hummed, and as the Sentinel ship rose through the atmosphere, the surface of Asterion shimmered like an ocean of light. Life was returning, plants sprouting, air purifying, oceans reforming. A world once dead was alive again. As the ship broke into orbit, the stars stretched before him once more. But something new filled the void. A network of faint golden threads connecting distant worlds, traces of the vault's energy spreading silently across the galaxy. Aaron sat back in his chair, the silence of space pressing around him. He opened Jarek's last message one final time. The hologram showed his friend smiling proudly. "If you're still breathing, Aaron, it means humanity has proven something again. We may not have the strongest ships or the brightest stars, but when we love, when we fight for others, nothing in this galaxy can stop us." Aaron chuckled softly. "You always had the last word, old friend." He gazed out at the stars, whispering, "We're not done yet." As the Sentinel ship entered hyperspace, a faint shimmer of light followed behind it, the same golden energy that now lived within Lyra's essence. Watching over him from afar, on Asterion, the vault glowed brighter, forming a figure of light that looked just like her, standing atop the mountain and gazing into the stars. Her whisper echoed through the universe. "Carried on cosmic winds, remember us, humanity. Remember that mercy is your greatest strength." Back aboard the ship, Aaron set a course not for home, but for the unknown. He wasn't going to rest. Not while others needed saving. Not while the memory of Lyra and Jarek burned in his heart. He looked at the hologram controls and smiled faintly. "Project Sentinel," he said. "Reactivate exploration protocol. We've got work to do." The ship's engines roared softly, carrying him into the endless stars behind him. Asterion shimmered one last time, a living world born from sacrifice, carrying the soul of a woman who was once hunted, and a legacy of two friends who refused to let hope die. And as light spread across the galaxy, the universe whispered a new legend, one that would be told for generations. The story of the man who inherited an alien wife and together they saved the stars.